Hello, Leslie. It is Friday, March 6th, and I am at the beautiful West Valley College near Los Gatos, where we had dinner not too long ago. This episode is not so much about my adventures or me going on a new adventure, but recounting some old adventures for a very good friend of mine. Here she is, yes, my Ford Ranger Knapsack. And I'm going to take you around and I'm going to show you some of the adventures Knapsack has been in because, yes. All right, so this is adventure number 1. Right above the back driver's side wheel well. First dent ever put on, the first offense ever against Knapsack. Definitely first accident. Here's what happened. So I was sitting with the twins. That would be the Maldonados. It's nighttime. We're in Middle Earth parking lot. I'm about to drop them off. We're just kind of hanging out before they actually leave the car. The engine's off. We're parked perpendicular to some cars who are parked, and one guy just totally backs up maybe 15 miles an hour into my stopped car and puts a big giant dent, and there was actually a lot more paint stuff that I tried to rub off. All right, adventure number 2 in the life of Knapsack. By this point, I had moved up to San Jose and was enjoying life up here. I was with Corrine. She was driving. I was teaching her how to drive. We were in the Del Taco drive-through. How sad is that? Sometimes tragedy strikes us even in the happiest of places. You can still see the brown paint from the Del Taco. It's kind of caked on here. She cut the corner a little bit too quickly. That slow, painful scrape against the corner of Del Taco. I'm not sure whether I'm more and more for Del Taco or my truck, but suffice it to say, I was hurt very badly that day. Not physically, just my soul. Leslie, I know you think I'm always perfect, and that's almost true. Yeah, the adventure number 3, I think, was my fault. Here it is. This is when I hit our gate ever so softly, and now there's so many scrapes. I'm not even sure if this was me exactly. I know I hit our gate. I don't know if it left this big of a mark. This seems unreasonable. But anyway, somebody at some point hit me right here, and we'll call that adventure number 3. The shady side for adventure number 4. And I don't know if you can see this. It's very subtle, but it's this whole scrapey section right here. This has been doubly hit, once by Lizzie, once by Corrine, both on our gate. Yes, our gate and my truck do not get along. If you ever drive a truck, Leslie, here's the trick. You always want to clear your back tires first, right? You want to get your back tires in position and then swivel your front out, right? Your front of your truck is going to be much more mobile than the back of your truck. And I think a lot of people think they're driving a sedan and they think they can cut corners, but really you can't. And again, more cosmetic damage over the wheel well. You'll see another one. Yes, this whole side has been kind of a Lizzie Corrine zone. Yeah, makes me sad. But that is adventure number 4. Which brings us to adventure number 5, the most recent adventure, and the one that got me thinking, hey, I should document all this. See this big dent? Maybe it's not super clear from the straight back, but I'm just going to follow it with my hand. My hand just kind of goes in. Yep. All that's caved in. I was turning on to one highway from another. Old guy basically illegally jumped in my lane, drove through that little stripey section where you're not supposed to drive. So I had to stop, and when I stopped, somebody behind me didn't, and so they rammed it. Bam! First time I've ever had to exchange insurance stuff. Definitely been an adventure for me, so I'm right there with you, buddy. Yeah. The rubber bumper on top is not, I guess it's plastic. You can't really step on it anymore. But yes, this is definitely the most devastating adventure in the life of my truck, principally because this is the first time functionality has really been affected by, an incident. Leslie, these adventures tend to come like a slug in the chest to me, right? Whenever somebody comes to me and says, oh, hey, I dinged your car, I feel it. One of the reasons why I think is because this truck is something very valuable to me, right? Given to me by my grandpa. My grandpa takes excellent care of his things. When I don't take good care of this thing that he's passed on to me, it feels in some way like I'm disrespecting him or not quite giving his things the respect they deserve, right? It's like I'm disrespecting my grandpa. And in the same way, I feel disrespected. I think when I loan my truck to somebody and they ding it, or an accident happens, right? Somebody's just being careless and like backs up at 15 miles an hour into me, or is not looking and hits me from behind. I feel disrespected, and in some way this truck is connected to me, as if this truck is an extension of people's care and respect for me as a person or a friend or whatever. This most recent incident has caused me to think a little bit more about my feelings about my truck, right? This truck has stretched my generosity in the past, right? How, willing am I to let you take my truck that gets 12 or like 15 miles per gallon, right? And not pay me for gas? Or how willing am I to let you take my truck when I want to take my truck, and I have to bike now? Or how willing am I to let you use my truck if I know you have a bad history of banging up my truck, right? Which, like I've said, is like an extension of people's respect for me. And it stretched me in that sense. It stretched me in forgiveness, being able to forgive people. It stretched me in the ways that I care for a truck, right? I am responsible for this thing. I've replaced the brakes. I've changed the oil. It's made me think about giving in a lot of different ways. And I think when I first got this truck, I said kind of nonchalantly, I want to use this to serve people, and I've definitely done that. But it has been at a cost. My truck isn't going to resell like so well at all now. And every time somebody does something to it, I feel that a little bit more, right? I have to, I got to deal with that. So I think some adventures have cost at least a little bit. I've also had a lot of awesome adventures in this truck too. So let me not discount those, right? Driving up to see you in Sacramento was awesome. Driving up to San Jose was sad, but also pretty cool. Camping in this truck has been really fun. Adventures out there, Leslie, good or bad. Can't wait to see you again.